Okay, yo, what's going on, guys? So I'm here. I just got out of the gym just not too long ago. Actually, I actually got out an hour ago, and then I grabbed something to eat. Um, so I ate McDonald's, and I know that's not really something that people should be eating, especially right after a really great workout. One that I had. I really felt everything in my body. I didn't do too much. I wasn't, I'm not one to, you guys know. I mean, I'm not one to over burn my body or whatnot. But I just wanted to make this video um, because using the example that I used earlier, or using the example of me eating McDonald's after a workout. Um, so here, he- here's the thing. I read, so I'm in my last quarter of college, and I last quarter I had this really awesome teacher, and he was a great speaker. He's a really great person. Really, what's the word? He's a very charismatic person, or at least he tries to fake it. He's sort of in between. He did tell me that there was a time when he was very introverted, but he took this class at a different college, and he loved it, and he turned into a completely different person. But obviously, you could still see the introversion in him from time to time, but that's not my point. My point is there was a book that the book that he had us read was called The Natural Speaker, and that was written by one of his professors. I think it was his first professor, the professor that changed his life. He said that the professor he took the course with changed his life, and so one of the sections talks about giving yourself permission in terms of communication, right? Communicate. Okay. Side note: communication is really important, just in everyday life, whether it's giving a speech or talking with your spouse, or trying to get out your dreams. But that's my little side note. He says giving yourself permission. And the way I interpreted this personally is I don't think people give themselves permission to be the best they can be, right? They limit themselves. So I see this a lot with artists. They're always trashing themselves. They're always like saying, "Oh, this is bad" or whatever, and everybody's like, "Oh, you're your worst enemy or whatever." But here's the thing. For me, I give myself 100% full permission. Gonna getting a little bit tired on this arm. I give myself 100% full permission to be great, and I think everybody needs to give themselves permission to not only be great but be the best version of yourself, right? And so now think about it, right? If you're always going to ridicule yourself, right, and you're always going to um, have that mindset of just like your stuff is bad, you're it's gonna be bad. It's always gonna be bad if you approach it that way. Oh, sorry, I got a video of someone else, but I'm gonna go ahead and switch the view this way. But you're always going to be terrible at what you do if you approach it that way. If you approach it with, okay, I understand, this is beginner. It I understand that this is a beginning stage. This is my starting point. If you approach it with, this is my starting point, I want to get better and better, and I want to learn new things, and I want to learn how I can improve on this, right? And it's not just by asking, how can you improve? How can you improve? Right? You could do that 1,000 times. And in all honesty, I'm not really a big fan of asking people on how you could improve. I'm a big fan of people doing and improving because I think that's more beneficial, right? not only that, but also having people who are supportive and people who are knowledgeable in the thing that you want to do. So if like you're an accountant, right? And you're not so good at accounting, but there's another person who really is, I think you need to get with that person and say, "Hey, I'm not so good at accounting, but I want to learn from this person who is phenomenal at accounting and is even better than me," right? If you realize your starting point, and if you realize your if you realize your starting point, and you realize that you can get better, that's the way to success. Okay, I don't think people give themselves permission. Now, when I went to the gym, right, I've been working out for 2 months, right, and before I went to the gym, this was late December, I weighed myself and I weighed 168. That's not bad, entirely bad. That's edging on. I don't think that's a terrible number, but I knew that it was a bad enough number for me to really wake up. And prior to that, I was eating emotionally because I just got out of this really terrible heartache. But and I admitted it to a lot of people that I knew and trusted. And and after that, I realized, holy cow, I need to change something about myself. It all starts there, admitting it, and realizing, and then doing, right? And so I've been really active in the gym, and before that, I was just walking, just so I could get myself out of bed, right? Because I think just getting up and getting the energy just to do, right? That's how I built consistency. For 7 days a week for about a month, a little over a month, I was just getting up and I walked about 35 minutes a day, 2 laps around the track, right? And so for 2 months, I've been really grinding. I've been seeing the personal trainer, Jonathan. You guys have seen him before on this channel, and seeing him, him giving me some tips, him giving me exercises I could work on, going to that gym after a month, and I weighed myself about a week ago, and was it a week ago? A little over a week ago, and I was down from 168 down to 151. Okay, and I just weighed myself today, and I dropped another 3 pounds. So I'm at 148, which is a huge improvement. 20 pounds off of my freaking. Sorry for the ear trouble. If you guys heard that, forgot that I have the microphone right here, but. That is an insane improvement. You know what I mean? So I allowed myself to get McDonald's. I don't care. I know for a fact that I'm not going to make it a habit. That's the thing. I'm not going to make this one small little treat become an everyday habit, right? And I think that's what, if you just indulge yourself in little moderations, in little chunks, once you've hit milestones, then I think you'll live a fulfilled life. Because if you're focused on one thing and one thing only, and you deprive yourself of everything like fun, like let's say, for example, you're trying to, what's a good example? You're trying to save money, right? And your mark is $3,000, and you're working a minimum wage job, so you might get $150 a week. Roughly. Depends on where you live and everything, right? But let's say $150 a week, right? And you just take that $150, put it straight into savings, right? And you keep doing it, right? You're depriving yourself of things that, are fun. So let's say you hit $900. So let's say you hit $1,000, right? and you finally see those 4 digits in your bank account. Okay, there's nothing wrong with going out to eat or going out with the boys or going to a rave, as long as the price is fairly low and fairly decent, and you don't use your entire check. Okay, I'm looking at you, broke boys. All right, so just make sure that you do it in moderation. Don't do it too often, so your goal is still in sight. But yeah, just don't deprive yourself. Always give yourself permission to do things. Always give yourself permission to just live life. And honestly, that's my motto. So I really hope that you guys got something out of this video. It's a little bit longer, but you know what? I had a lot to say tonight. So I hope you guys have a great evening or morning. Depends on where you're at, but you know what? There's only 8 subscribers. You know what? I want to see if in 2 years that number is gonna change. Have a good one.